world searching for gaming knowledge comes the man, the myth, a legend in his own mind, Critical. Welcome back, everybody. This is Critical, and I'm bringing you some more knowledge from Savage Lands. Today we're going to look at encumbrance and stamina, and the difference between one-handed mining and two-handed mining. Let's get started. I've pre-staged myself, and I've got my equipment ready for this test today. The first thing we're going to look at is stamina and encumbrance. And of course, a whiteout is started in the game. Joyful. Now, if you look at my equipment load, I went and got enough copper to make an entire set of copper, including a copper warhammer. Now, the reason I did this is because the encumbrance on weapons only applies to the two-handed weapons. And copper was the heaviest material I could craft with that didn't jump into the sphere of gold. I'm not going to be able to get gold at this time. My best chance of completing this test accurately would be to use copper. So I've got 5 encumbrance on my helmet, 5 on my gauntlets, and 5 on my boots. And then 14 on my cuirass. So that's a total of 29. Plus my copper war mace gives me an additional 5. So I have 34 encumbrance right now. The most I can have on this character, like I said, without using gold equipment. And then I've dropped everything in my inventory. I'm going to go ahead and stoke the fire here. I'm going to go ahead and drop off the wood logs. But I've got all my equipment here and all my bags. And I'm just going to carry with me the minimal amount of stuff I need to complete this test. So I'll drop all my bandages. I'm going to go ahead and keep the steel hammers, because I always have them on me and it's part of my normal loadout. I've got some cooked rabbit. I'm going to use that to get my stamina back up to 100% before I do this test. Now, how I'm going to do this test is, if you look down at the game, you can only get looking down so far. So that's my starting point. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to place my cursor right on this block, and that's how I'm going to start this test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run all the way across, and as soon as I get to the other side, I'm going to drop a torch. Then I'm going to come back here, drop all my gear, go completely naked in my skivvies, and I'm going to run back again and see how close I get to the initial torch that I dropped. Here we go for this first test. Something you guys might be wondering, where did I get this question? Well, I was watching Cage848, a link to his channel will be down in the description today, and he made the comment about stamina in his last video. And this is something he talked about before, and I did a little testing, but I didn't have the appropriate gear, and I didn't even have a really good method to test it. This is the best one I could come up with. Okay, so now I have run out of stamina. I'm dropping my torch. I can already tell you there's a difference. The first time I did this test, I was wearing, I believe it was tin armor, and I didn't even have a tin, I didn't have a tin two-handed weapon or anything in my, I think I was carrying 2 hammers at the time, and I could make it all the way across the bridge without losing all my stamina. So there is a difference, but we'll see the final conclusion here in a second. I'm also going to be including a time clock. I want to see if there's a time difference. So when I do this next test naked, as we pass that torch, I'll mark the time to see if there's a speed difference or if it's just a stamina difference. Something else I want to show you while we're walking back to my equipment is I want my stamina bar to go all the way back up. When you start a run you actually lose a chunk of stamina as soon as you push shift. And I can show that for you right here. I'm going to go through all my stamina in about 2 seconds just by hitting shift several times. Watch what happens. As you see, I'm constantly losing stamina instantly. I'm losing a little chunk of it every time, and I'm completely out of stamina. So if you are doing a lot of running in the game and you're doing a lot of stopping and starting again, be cautious of that. You could run out of stamina really quick. Alright, I'm going to take all my gear off. Ladies, avert your eyes, and I'll bring you back as soon as I'm ready. Alright, we're back. Now I'm completely naked. I've dropped all my gear, including my weapons. Go ahead and look at my inventory. There you go. I'm completely naked, nothing on me. I've got myself set back at the same block in the same orientation. I'm going to go ahead and get my stamina back and let that build back up. And here we go. That's where I dropped the torch when I was wearing all copper armor and had a copper warhammer. And this is where I'm dropping the torch naked and with all my gear. Now in post, I will have annotations for the different timings on that, but that's right there, definitive. In copper armor with a copper warhammer, that's how far I was able to get on my full stamina bar. And completely naked with no weapon, that's how far I could get. And hopefully the speed test will have some answers there also. Now I'm going to go back, get all my gear back on, and then we're going to go to an iron node that I know of, and we're going to start the one-handed mining versus two-handed mining. And what we're going to do is we're going to mine the entire node one-handed and see how long it takes. And then we're going to go to a different node, and we'll mine that entire node two-handed and see how long it takes. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. We're at my favorite little hidey hole where this little iron node is, just down from the bridge leading to the leading from the first island to the second island. I'm just going to let my health go back up and we'll get this test started. Now, I've taken my secondary mace out of my offhand so I don't accidentally use it during the test. I don't want to invalidate the test. Iron nodes are hard to come by. Alright, here we go. The test is starting now. And finished. Okay. Pick up that iron, not going to waste it. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer to that secondary location. I'll bring you back as soon as we get there. Welcome back everybody. I have not shown these locations on camera yet, and I didn't find them myself. I was watching Bloodstalker 101 and he found these. There's 2 iron nodes you can get to and 1 you can't. If somebody figured out how to get to this 3rd iron node I'll point out, please let me know. When you cross the bridge to the second island, if you turn left, now this is in the alpha, not the beta, you'll come along this little farmstead. Now if you go directly through this farmstead, you're going to be heading up toward this little rocky outcrop. Now down there is a little town. During the day you can find some skeletons, but at night you find ghost skeletons. So be careful going in there in this area if you're going to be doing it at night. Now to get to these iron nodes, I'm going to be going off to the left-hand side of this, and we're going to be doing some parkour to get up to the iron nodes. If you haven't already checked them out, please go check out Bloodstalker 101 and Cage_848. The links to their channels are in the description today. They've got a lot of information on this game. A lot of it, the stuff that I know, I learned from them. So I'm going to go up this hill, go up this rock face. There it is. That's the first one. Now that over there is a copper node, so if you need some copper, it's useful to find that there. I'm going to go ahead and get my second mace into my offhand. Here's the second test starting now. Okay, so I've taken the timers. I'm going to go ahead and in post, up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, I'm going to put how long it took to mine with a single hammer, and underneath it, I'm going to go ahead and link how long it took with dual hammers, and then I'll give you the difference. Okay, we're back. Now, that's an iron node over there. Neither myself or Bloodstalker 101 can figure out how to get up there. I've tried building some stuff around it in different games and trying to jump up that using crafting tables as possible stairs. I can't do it. So if anybody figures that out, please let me know. I'll definitely give you a call out in a future video if you can provide that information to me. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this copper node. Okay, welcome back. Now I've got that copper. We're going to go back here to the top of the ridge. This is that town I was telling you about. And right now, just a couple rabbits in there. I might have come down here already and killed off any skellies during the day. But definitely at night, you can see ghost skeletons that spawn in. They're all white. You can't miss them. They shine like beacons in the night. We're going to do a little parkouring and get around the backside of this wall. Fortunately, there's no fall damage in this game because where we're going, you would definitely take fall damage. So if they ever add that in the future, this might be a tough sell for an iron node. Right over here and drop down to this ledge. And here's that last iron node. Now this is a really cool view. Bloodstalker pointed this out also, and I gotta admit, man, you're right. This is one of the nicest views in the game. In fact, I will use it as a thumbnail. Today we learned, wearing copper armor with a copper war mace, it takes 52.75 seconds to cross the bridge from the first island to the second island, and naked, it only takes 43.7 seconds, saves 8.98 seconds, and you get about 20 feet further across the bridge. We also found that mining an iron node with a single steel hammer takes 15.1 seconds, and with two steel hammers takes 13.41 seconds, meaning about 1.6 seconds faster when using two hammers versus a single hammer. Neither one of these results are going to greatly change how the game runs for you, but it's still useful information. I am Critical. Thank you for being here. Have a nice day. Bye.